So here's a control I purchased for the vintage air installed in the 37. It's that part number. I took out the stereo that Gary had put in there. It worked fine, but I got a different plan for a different radio setup. So we'll take that out. So we got a hole in the dash. So I'm thinking, you know what? This thing would probably fit in here just fine. So I made a little template, and I don't have to cut out very much. So that'll sit up in there. There's a what would be the factory ashtray above that. I took that out. So yeah, we'll get this cut out and mounted in there and bring you back, show you what it looks like. So I'm getting to the point of mocking up my under dash unit to the bulkhead plate. I've got it kind of floating here, anticipating this is where I needed to put it. So I've got it turned this way. It seems to fit a little better. I had to order some 180-degree fittings because these hoses are only going to be, what, 6 or 7 inches long probably. So that's that, and then these two brass barb fittings are going to be for my heater hoses, which is here and back there. So these have a nice little bulb end on. These are for 5/8 hose, so 5/8 heater hose. Where did I put my hose? 5/8 heater hose fits on there, and I thought I wanted to maybe use some copper fitting. So what I did was I needed to modify a copper, half-inch copper water pipe because it's 5/8. So I made this little guy. So all I did was weld a piece of wire on my vice grips. And just kind of goes in there and clamps and go around the pipe a couple times, and you've got this nice little raised edge to keep the hose from squirting off there. So anyway, we'll continue on. We'll get her mocked up here and show you what it looks like. Well, today was move-in day for the unit. I got it bolted up in there. I made a bracket. Oh, it's hard. Let me get the light up here so you can see it better. I made a bracket back in there where those 3 screws are. That I made to hook into the case on that side. I have a stud going through below that electrical strip there on that. There's my fittings where my bulkhead's on the firewall side. And then my 180s, I took those off, but I got it mocked up on the bench out here, so I'll be able to hopefully easily put that back on. I did a test fit on my glove box liner, and it does fit. There's plenty of room down here for the feet on the floor. Yeah, there's a lot of room there. The control is going to go in where the radio came out. Got the ductwork under there, and I got one for the other side. I made a fancy cover for my steering column, and that's about it for now. Continue on hooking this up. But yeah, so far so good. So yesterday was move-in day for the unit, and today was the plumbing day. And man, you talk about some tight fittings back there. Holy mackerel. I put that bulkhead fitting on the firewall, and if I had to do it over again, I think I would have not used that. It kind of forced me to cluster everything in one small spot, which I guess it's fine. It all worked out well, but man, tried to get wrenches and screwdrivers and sockets and everything else in there. So I used copper pipe to run my heater hoses because there's not a lot of room back here, and I wanted to have as least amount of diameter as possible. So 1/2-inch copper water line is 5/8 OD, which is what the nipples on the heater core was. So that's why I went with that. So now I guess we got a brace right there that goes over to the dash. Gotta hook that up yet, and I can start running my wiring and my temperature controller. So, but anyway, it was a tight fit, but it's nice to have the glove box to work through, because if I had to work from underneath the dash up there, it would have been an impossibility, I'm sure. So anyway, there's your update. Oh, I got a little hiccup here. I had this copper line all in the unit there, and then I was going through my paperwork, and I remembered this water control valve had to go in the heater line. So I was going to put it outside in the engine compartment, but I didn't really want to find a spot for it, and it's not real attractive looking. So there's room underneath the dash, so I took my line out and I cut this section out and got my handy dandy little tool that I made to make this fittings, the little bulb end on there to keep the hose from squirting off. And I'll just cut a couple short pieces of 5/8 hose and some clamps, and we'll be back in business. Man, we thought it was tight in there before. Now she's really compact. But as long as I can get my hoses on there and clear the wiring, I think we'll be good. Hope we don't have any leaks. Well, I pulled a vacuum on this thing with my antique Blue Point AC setup. It's about 40 minutes worth. Been sitting for probably at least a half hour, and it's still it's still got a good vacuum on it, so I'm gonna say that it's pretty tight then. Also got my Lyle radiator fill and got a couple gallons of coolant in there, 50/50. It's gonna need a little more, so I guess it's time to put some refrigerant in this thing and fire it up and see if she blows cold air. Remember what I said about I hope we don't have any leaks? Well, dang it. Right back here on the suction line, I must not have got this first fitting crimped good enough, because so right here is where we were leaking. That hole right there in the collar, in the crimp part of it, I don't think I got enough crimp action on this part, so we'll sit her back into the machine there and give her a little more squeeze. This one looks like it's really squished down there, but yeah, it was bleeding refrigerant out of that hole. But see back there, it's like I had to take all this other, I had to take this line off to get to that line. I had to take my heater pipes, heater core copper pipes out of there. Yeah.
A few moments later.
Alrighty, back underway. Hooked her up. She pulled down to 29 here in about 60 seconds. We'll let her draw for a while and go back and check it. Well, here we are, wrapping things up. Everything's back where it should be. Except my steering column trim. I got that off because I'm not done with other things yet. But everything works really well. As far as staying cool, it doesn't really like sitting idling with the electric fans on. It likes better going down the road. But so that's going to have to be addressed. But I was sitting here probably a good 15 minutes before it finally got up to 210. But right now it's just about 215. if that's accurate. But I'll give you a temperature reading here. So you can see it's plenty cold. So I got a ignition issue too. It doesn't like to shut off right away when I shut the key off. So something needs a diode somewhere, I think, on the ignition switch. But other than that, I think we're going to wrap this video up. It's been a long time coming. Finishing up, cost wise, I got it written down somewhere, but it was less than $1,000 for everything, not including the radiator, of course. But so anyway, this is going to be it for this part 4 video. And if you made it this far, really appreciate you watching. Hit that like and subscribe if you're not already. And we'll catch you on the next one.